Hi guys, it's me again. Well, in case you don't know who me is, it's Jason C. Scott, top 1% mortgage loan originator on the VA home loan benefit nationwide. 20 years, United States Army, combat retired, all the fun stuff. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know who I am. But for those that are just joining us, and now you know. Today video, it's a little interesting because it's kind of a mixed bag on the answers in regards to the question. The question was, hey Jay, what are some of the most common mistakes new home buyers do when using their VA home loan benefit? And I'll be honest with you, that's a great question, but man, there's just so many answers, and boy, I tell you, this is a sticky subject because it might rub some people the wrong way because we may be exposing, some tactics from other folks that they may not like that so much. So you're definitely gonna wanna tune in, and let's get started. All right, common mistakes, wow. Well, let's talk about one that just recently happened on a phone call I had today with a new client. This client has been watching my social media stuff on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And he reached out and he said, hey Jay, you're not gonna believe this, but we actually spoke a little over a year ago. I can't remember when, but I was actually referred to you from someone while I was attending one of my advanced schoolings, and unfortunately I can't remember his name either, but here's the deal. I'm getting ready to PCS to Hawaii. I'm currently in North Kakalaki, and I found the home that I want to put an offer on, but the realtor I'm working with said I need a pre-approval because they're taking all offers tomorrow. Now, that's cool. I mean, that's happened before. I mean, I'll be honest, that's kind of like getting the cart before the horse. Typically we tell people, and this could be one of the most common mistakes, is that you're looking for a home before you even know whether or not you can afford it. Now, just for instance, this client actually very well qualified, lots of assets, great credit score, not a whole lot of debt. He's very in tune with his financial picture, which I'll be honest with you, most first-time home buyers are not, right? So he's kind of like the unicorn, right? Mythical creature, never heard of him, never seen him, right? Only in movies, but cool. So it just so happened to work out for him. But one of the most common mistakes most buyers make is that they decide they want to put an offer on a home and they haven't actually been pre-approved yet, right? Remember, pre-approved, not pre-qualified. Remember in previous videos I told you pre-qualifications? Well, I have toilet paper that has more use than a pre-qual. At least toilet paper has a specific use, where a pre-qual really doesn't, just waste people time. So we're talking, we're going through some discovery, and I'm asking him some questions, and I'm like, okay, so obviously you haven't seen the house because you're buying sight unseen, but is your realtor, has she at least went to the house, went to the surrounding neighborhood, did any type of like video, FaceTime, something with you to where you can actually see the home? And he was like, no, I didn't know that I could ask that. So the common mistake or pitfall of most first-time home buyers is they really don't know that they can ask questions. And then the caveat to that is when they're working with an agent, they forget that the agent actually works for them, not the other way around. If you ever feel like you're actually doing all the work for the agent, there's something wrong with that picture. Remember, this is going to be the most expensive thing that you ever buy in your life until you do it again, right? And if I tell you, if you do it wrong to begin with, you'll never buy another home, because most people, when they go through a process that's so jacked up, they're like, I don't ever want to do that ever again. So no, he hadn't seen the house. He was like, yeah, but the listing pictures look awesome. I was like, wow, well, that's kind of scary, because you're looking to sink about a little over $500,000 to a potential home that, one, you haven't seen, two, your realtor hasn't even offered to go and take video or at least do some kind of live streaming with you. How do you feel about that? And he's like, well, I know the pictures are awesome. Well, here's the thing, guys. When realtors get a listing, they obviously want to present it in the best light possible to attract more buyers. Now, I'm not saying all realtors do this, but there is a common thing that you're going to see out there where they can take photos from a house and then they can actually crop in what it would look like with clean furniture or clean floors. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It'll make it look like it's almost a brand new home, and then when you actually show up to the property, it doesn't look anything like the MLS pictures that were in the listing. So that's kind of scary, right? And I'll be honest, in this environment that we're in, there's a lot of people that are having to buy sight unseen. But if you have the right realtor that says, hey, look, I know you're a first-time buyer. You're not just another number for me. I want to make sure you're taken care of. ask them these questions, right? Hey, what does it look like? What time of day did you go? Did you go during the morning? Did you go in the afternoon? Is it family friendly? Do I have to worry about, potential maybe homeless problems? And I'm not saying homeless people are a problem, but some people do consider that to be a problem, especially if you have a lot of homeless or a homeless population where you're going to potentially live, right? It may not be something that's considered safer to you, right? Other questions they should be asking, because one of the things I asked him, I was like, well, what made this home be the one that you just want to put an offer on? He's like, well, man, it's so dialed in. I know I can rent it for a fortune and make money off it long term. I said, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. Hawaii is one of those places that, yes, definitely long term appreciation definitely works in your favor. And there's an opportunity there where you could potentially make profit on, depending on how long you hold on to it. However, when it comes to renting though, did you ask your realtor? Hey, just out of curiosity, I'm only going to be living in this home for about 3 years, but I know I want to hold on to it longer. What do rents go right now for a home that looks just like this in this neighborhood? And of course he said, oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't know I could ask her questions. I was like, brother, you can ask all the questions you want in the world. However, you have to be careful as to what those answers look like. What has your communication process been with this realtor? Just out of curiosity, how did you hear about this realtor? How long have you been working with this realtor? And keep in mind, I'm never a type of person that wants to dissuade someone from working with who they're already with. In fact, it gives me an opportunity to get to know this realtor. But if I feel that my veteran is being taken advantage of or they are not being taken care of properly, I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, have you thought about this? Have you asked this question? Have you had the communication? Well, Jay, no, we really haven't communicated much. I've only known her about a week. I saw a listing, she responded. There's a ding, 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 red flag right there. And she really doesn't like to text or call me on the phone. She only wants to really communicate via email. Well, Bubba, how do you like to communicate? He's like, I actually want to talk to someone. He goes, man, just the few minutes I've been talking to you, I feel more comfortable. And we've said a lot more than what I've basically for the last week been talking with her. Brother, you can do something about that. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, bud, you can work with any realtor and any lender that you want. Remember, you got to feel comfortable, right? Someone that you know, like, and trust. Now, granted, when you're far away, it's kind of hard to establish a trust with that person. You're kind of giving it carte blanche, and you're hoping that the better side of humanity, they will actually take good care of you. Unfortunately, those aren't the times that we live in. In fact, most people are not that way. They're out to make a quick buck. They don't care. You're just a number. I go, so if you're not comfortable with her, I go, first things first, obviously you're going to have to communicate with her. Say, hey, look, I don't feel like you're really educating me. I need to know more about this. You say a lot of things that just go right over my head. And remember, anytime that somebody's explaining something to you, if you think it's getting to be too much and your eyes are starting to glaze over and roll to the back of your head, just tell them, hey, stop. Can you do me a favor? Can we dumb this down a little bit? Or can we go back and can you explain a little bit more about this because I don't quite understand and I don't want to get all the way down the road and then be like, what just happened, right? Remember, you as a consumer, you're in charge. Lenders, realtors, anytime that you're buying something in the service industry, those people work for you, not the other way around. Don't ever make them or let them make you think that you have no value or no say, right? Remember, they work for you. So those are some of the most common missteps that happen for first-time buyers. I see it and I hear it all the time. But here's a way to avoid a lot of those things. First off, step one, get pre-approved, not pre-qualified, right? Shop around, ask lenders, what's your experience? How many veterans have you helped? Are you a specialist with the VA Home Loan Benefit or whatever loan product that you're using and ask them to prove it to you, right? Get pre-approved. We've done other videos on that, on what that looks like. Then once you're pre-approved, then one, you can start asking people for potential references. I'm sure you have friends or relatives, somebody that's bought a home before, used a realtor that they may have liked, may not have liked. If they didn't like it, they probably won't recommend that person. If they did like the person, then yeah, they're going to be a raving fan. They'll say, hey, you ought to reach out and talk to this person because here's what they did for me, ABC, right? And get a few people, to talk to. Now, granted, if you don't know anybody or you don't have anybody in the area that can help you, hopefully your lender can give you a couple ideas, right? Typically, it depends on who I work with. Each realtor has a specific mindset or a specific personality trait that blends better with different people, right? Some clients like people that are just very direct, straight to the point. They don't care how many kids you have or what you like to do for fun, because that's just not what they're about. And then there's other people that are more like the social butterflies. To them, they're looking for someone that's actually going to help hold their hand, guide them through the process, and become a friend for life, right? And typically that's most of the clients I work with. They're really just looking for people to say, hey, can you just give it to me straight? I want to learn how to do this. I may not buy right now, but I want to know how, so that way when I am ready, at least I'm going to be, I'm going to have all the tools in my toolbox. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, you know what to do. If you like what we're putting out here and you think this provides you value, make sure you like, share, subscribe, And then of course, you always know that you can come here, because here's where you're going to get the real deal, not the raw deal. Other than that, take care, and we'll see you on the flip side.